In Modern Warfare 3, I've unlocked the Interstellar, Borealis Bioluminescent, and Orion Mastery camos, and have slowly started to work on the Weapon Grand Mastery challenges. A few weeks ago, I finished the Interstellar Multiplayer Grand Mastery challenge, which is getting 1,000 kills with every Modern Warfare 3 gun with the Mastery camos equipped. The rewards weren't really worth it at all. You get a keychain weapon charm. And let's all be honest, I knew I wasn't going to get rewarded with some new Ultra Mastery weapon camo like Interstellar or Borealis. I was going to get just a keychain weapon charm. No one's ever going to notice this weapon charm to begin with, which I already know that. I'm not going to lie to myself. And on the off chance that someone does notice it, rarely anyone's going to know what it means. There's still no emblem and calling card for the multiplayer Grand Mastery challenge, at least for Modern Warfare 3. There is for the Modern Warfare 2 weapons, but I already have that. I just want the Modern Warfare 3 one to show off that all winter I didn't touch grass at all. Not that I had the option to in the first place. There's still snow on the ground in the first week of April. I'm forecasted to get a fresh 10 centimeters of snow, so I'm not seeing the first bit of green grass until the end of May. That gives me the greatest excuse ever to work on the Borealis Weapon Grand Mastery Challenge, which is virtually the same challenge, except instead of killing other players, we're killing zombies. So instead of getting 1,000 kills overall with the gold, or I guess it's gilded, the gilded forged, priceless, and interstellar camos, we have to get 300 kills with the Golden Enigma camo, 600, I'm having troubles remembering what the camos are called, and I've been doing this grind for quite a while. Not Spinal Husk, okay, I'm searching this up, I'll be back in a second. That was embarrassing. 600 kills with the Zircon Scale camo, 900 kills with the Serpentinite camo, and 1,200 kills with the Borealis camo. And just like the multiplayer version, you can do these out of order, so if you just want your favorite camo, say you really like Serpentinite and your favorite weapon in the game is the MCW, you can get that calling card and show it off, and you don't have to do any other hard work. If you do want to properly unlock everything and get the Grand Mastery reward for zombies, you will have to complete all 4 Grand Mastery challenges on each weapon for at least 36 weapons in the game, and then you'll be rewarded with what I'm assuming, based off of the weapon charms that I've unlocked in the first place, will be the exact same as the Interstellar Grand Mastery Challenge, except just covered in rust and way worse looking. And that's not why I'm doing this grind in the first place. I'm doing it for the love of the game. Even though the rewards suck ass, if there was no rewards in the first place, but a check mark that you got that you completed these challenges, just for the simple satisfaction of completing this grind that no one else is going to do, I would still do it. I've also been doing this grind for quite a while, over the past few weeks anyways. Ever since I finished multiplayer, I went directly to zombies and tried to complete as many guns as possible. Let's play a little game really quick. Pick a number between 0 and 36 and guess how many weapons you think I've completed on this grind so far. The answer is 24. I have completed 24 weapons. This is going to sound completely backwards, but doing the Borealis Weapon Grand Mastery challenges is easier than unlocking Borealis itself. I'm going to try to explain this to make it make sense. When you're grinding through Borealis, you have to level up at least 36 weapons to max level, which is going to take on average around an hour with double XP per weapon. On top of that, you have to complete the 4 base camo challenges, and eventually the same for the 4 mastery camos. On average, that'll take you 1.5 to 2 hours per weapon. For Grand Master, it's way easier than that. You don't have to worry about killing mercenaries, completing challenges that require some sort of upgrade, like weapon ammo types, tools, or pack-a-punch. You can just spawn in and kill as many zombies as you possibly can in the shortest amount of time in Tier 1. Yes, of course, having perks and upgrades on your weapons is going to make things that much easier, but it's not required like they are for camo challenges. Now, I would say on average, it takes about an hour to get all 3,000 kills for any weapon to complete the challenge. And that's without upgrades. Using upgrades is going to make things happen that much faster. And just like getting camo challenges done extremely fast, you're going to be relying on the Outlast contract to do things as efficiently as possible. Once you start up any game of zombies, you're going to try and find the closest Outlast contract to you, head to it as soon as possible, and start it up. Now, you're going to pay attention to the progression bar because once it hits 90%, you're going to cancel it. And once you cancel it, as long as you don't leave the Outlast area or at least get too far away from it, you can leave the building if you're getting overrun to quickly armor up and then enter back in. It seems to be like when you get to 50 meters away from that objective, it tends to stop spawning zombies, but an infinite amount of zombies will spawn in. You don't have to worry about ammo or armor because zombies are constantly going to drop them. The only thing that's kind of annoying is hellhounds will constantly spawn in if you're in tier 1, so there's going to be lots of fire on the ground. If you have PhD flopper, then you won't take any fire damage. If you're doing this contract in tier 2 or tier 3 for whatever reason, if you're just doing weapon grand mastery or even camo grinding, there's no point in making things more difficult than they should be, but you'll have some elite zombies like manglers and disciples spawn in to try and kill you as well. So it's easier to stay in the tier 1 zones. And of course, use this for camo grinding. It makes it that much easier. The only thing I would not recommend is doing this in any other party size other than solo. You have around 10 zombies that spawn in at a time, and the faster you kill them, the faster they respawn. But if you're battling for kills with a teammate, you're not going to be unlocking things as fast as you want to. There is one thing that's out of your control that can be extremely annoying, and that's if a random player comes across you and notices there's lots of zombies spawning and tries to take advantage of that. I honestly can't blame them because most players are ignorant to the fact that you're trying to complete some weapon challenges. They're there just to kill zombies and have a good time, so you can't really fault them for that. It is annoying. I honestly have only experienced it a few times so far. They usually end up getting bored and leaving in a few minutes anyway, so it slows you down temporarily. Worst case scenario, they're just a really annoying person who doesn't know any better and ends up sticking around for longer than you want them to, but there's really nothing you can do about it. You can also farm other contracts if you really want to, or just continuously call in exfils. It's gonna be less efficient, but it just depends on your preference. And hopefully, fingers crossed, they don't change the Outlast contract anytime soon. I'm gonna do this for bioluminescent eventually, so the easier, the better. But on the off chance that they do change something in the future, we might have to switch to another method. While grinding the Borealis Camo originally, unless you were really unlucky, you should have most schematics in the game at your disposal, which not only would make the Borealis grind easier in itself because you can craft things that you need for camo challenges rather than spending a couple contracts and wasting time just trying to have the random chance that you loot it. Having these schematics available for the weapon grand mastery grind is just as easy. You can spawn in with perks so you can reload LMGs faster. You can spawn in with PhD so the dogs in Outlast contracts, their fire doesn't damage you and force you to constantly move around and put yourself into more vulnerable situations. You're able to spawn in with tools and pack-a-punch crystals so you can kill zombies even faster with some weapons that may be weaker. And as a bonus, when you pack-a-punch a weapon, it doubles the magazine size, so if you're stuck with 30 rounds, you now have 60. Pair that with Speed Cola, and you'll be killing zombies even faster and speeding up the process. And just so you know, when you pack-a-punch a weapon, you will be given a pack-a-punch camo that will get rid of whatever mastery camo you're trying to get kills for this challenge with. Now, when you pack-a-punch a weapon and have a pack-a-punch camo equipped, your progression will not be counted. So what you have to do is navigate to your closest pack-a-punch machine from spawn if you're going to pack-a-punch your weapons, and you melee it. Once you do this, it's going to have a little animation, shine a green light, and any time from there on out, if you pack-a-punch a weapon, you'll still get the upgrade effects, except the camo won't change. It's not necessary to pack-a-punch your weapons, but it does make it easier. On top of all the schematics being able to craft items to make it easier, whether you're camo grinding or mastery weapon grinding, there was a new feature recently added called Containment levels. Every time you complete a contract, your containment level will go up. Once you reach the second last and final containment level, which is 75 and 100, each match you'll load in with 5,000 points, which will allow you to pack-a-punch any weapon in tier 1. And the cost of pack-a-punch is going to be reduced by 20%. So if you have a weaker weapon, you don't have schematics or any items available, you can just spawn in and not worry about it. And that's if you want upgrades. You're not required to. Every gun is going to kill extremely fast in tier 1. All these upgrades are going to do, they're going to speed up the process and make it easier to kill zombies and stay alive. If that makes it sound like the grind is already too easy, it gets even better. With the addition of the chainsaw underbarrel attachment, if the weapon allows for it, you can use this chainsaw, which doesn't have an ammo counter, infinitely to kill zombies while holding down your trigger or keybind. That means, in theory, you are able to grind not only Borealis, but this weapon mastery grind AFK. It's not even a question of if, but you need to have some upgrades to go AFK and stay alive, especially in an Outlast contract. We've already talked about PhD and why you need it to not take damage from the dog's fire attacks. You're also going to need Quick Revive so you regen health faster, Juggernog so you have more health, and you're also going to need a 3-plate vest, and 100% guaranteed, even though it's a little bit hard to unlock this schematic, you must have the golden armor plates, which is going to constantly replenish your armor, even if you're not plating up yourself. With these upgrades, you are able to, in a tier 1 contract, no weapon upgrades, hold down the chainsaw with your perks and with these golden armor plates, sit in a corner and go AFK completely. Zombies will come from all angles, so find a corner or an entranceway where zombies will funnel in towards you. You're automatically going to lock on with aim assist to the closest zombie to you, and with how fast the chainsaw kills, which is instant by the way, you'll truly be able to go AFK without worrying about going down, even with tons of hellhounds and zombies attacking you. Now, the only variable that you need to take into account here is, does the weapon you want to use and grind have the option for this underbarrel attachment? And I guess you're also not going to be able to run this strategy all the time, since you're not going to constantly be able to craft some of these schematics, so saving them up is a good idea. Or if you, by some miracle of a chance, come across golden armor plates in a loot stash somewhere, don't use it right away, unless you, of course, need it, and try and save it for some AFK camo grinding. You can't use it all the time, but it is really nice. It's almost like a treat when you do have the opportunity to use it. I guarantee the vast majority of players don't care about this challenge. Even if the reward was its very own new mastery camo that was different from Borealis, most people would be content with Borealis to begin with and wouldn't care about doing all this extra work just for something different. And I originally thought that this was going to be way worse than the multiplayer version. It was going to take longer, it was going to be way more mind-numbing and tedious. And while it is still tedious, I quite enjoy it. Just because of how laid back it is, it doesn't take a lot of effort, and it lets me catch up with a lot of YouTube, Netflix, and podcasts that I haven't been watching in forever. After school and getting assignments done, I'll usually just sit, pull up a movie, and in those few hours get a couple weapons done and call it a day. And surprisingly, the grind has been pretty smooth. Other than those few annoying players who come and try and steal your zombie kill. Okay, they're not stealing zombie kills, they just don't know any better. I mean, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. They could just be an asshole knowing exactly what you're doing, just trying to make your day a little bit more miserable. But overall, I swear by it, it's way easier to do than Borealis. Of course, without Borealis unlocked, you can't do this in the first place, so you kind of gotta get one grind out of the way to start another. It's easier than the multiplayer version. I am going to be attempting this with Bioluminescent and most likely finishing it. The only thing I'm worried about bioluminescent-wise is the launchers and the amount of snipers that there are in that game. When I did the snipers and launchers on Modern Warfare 3 weapons, launchers were great and easy. The Joker, probably going to be a pain in the ass to do since I'm going to have to melee every zombie, which is no different from the melee weapons, which I haven't even done any yet for Modern Warfare 3. But eventually, once I complete this grind, I'm going to go back to get every weapon done, even future DLC ones, because I'm a completionist. Of course I'm going to unlock everything in the game, regardless of if the reward is worth it or not, if there even is a reward. Well, it's back to grinding for me. Your mom has already subscribed to the channel, so you should too. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.